God, this is fantastic. It's so real. This virtual flight simulator is just amazing. Sweetheart, you really need to play this. It's amazing. Oh, getting a bit of motion sickness. Whoa, Jesus. Whoa. Oh. Whoa, jeez. Ooh. Damn it. Crashed. Oh, this is intense. I tell you what, I've been playing it all day, and the fans in this goggles, they don't half dry your eyeballs out. God damn it. Oh. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the DJI FPV combo. I've had this for a little over a week. I have actually unboxed it and tested it out just to get to grips with it, but I thought that I'd do an unboxing. There's countless unboxing videos on YouTube, but I decided today to do my own unboxing and give my description and my thoughts on this new FPV drone and all of the contents in the box. So let's get to it. So right out of the box, you get from top left, you get the DJI FPV drone. You get the green cover that you do get the clear one, the clear sort of smoky black plastic, but you do get a green one in case your favorite color might be green. You get the V2 goggles with the head strap. On the right, you've got the controller. The two white boxes are A and B propellers, the battery for the quad, and you only get one of those. Next to that, you get a hex key, which is there to take off the hood and do any kind of dismantling of the drone. You also get a cable for the goggles, the V2 goggles, that's accompanied with a DJI battery. Now, just after the battery, you get an OTG cable, and after that, you get a charge cable. Below all that, you get the actual charging cables and the charging brick to charge up the batteries, and that's essentially what you get in the box. Now, let's go and take a deeper look at what it is that you get. So here you go, here's the FPV quad that you get. It's got four motors. You've got the housing for the camera, which comes off, and it's a single axis gimbal. It does move up and down. It doesn't move side to side like the Mavic series does, where it's got image stabilization from a 3-axis gimbal. This doesn't operate in the same way. I think DJI have come up with the idea that if you're on a 3-axis gimbal, you're not going to get that FPV look where the horizon moves when you're flying. So yeah, they've just put a single axis gimbal on there for that. So I'll put this hoodie back on. Alongside the quad, you get this big, I think it's 2000 milliamp battery. It's got the connection point here, and you slide it in like so. You can press the sides. I'd rather press the sides on it than push it in, because it just adds wear and tear if you just push it in. But when you do push it in, just make sure it fits and doesn't come loose. To connect the battery, you have this little piece here, and it connects into the back, as you can see. So you simply push it in, slide it in, and I'll take this off just to show you how to start the thing up. You do have a button right here, so you press once and then press again and hold, and that starts it up. And that's as easy as it is. To turn it off, double press and hold, and it turns everything off. Now, it does calibrate. It goes through its little calibration. So I'll double press and hold, and you'll see the gimbal doing its thing. Always be mindful to take the cover off, because otherwise the gimbal gets stuck, and if you keep doing that over time, then it's going to damage the motors. So it's always advisable to take the gimbal cover off and then start your drone. I'm not going to go into the technical specifications of this drone, because there's just too much and it'll be a very lengthy video. I just want to make a short video on what you get in the box. Generally, I'll give you an overview. It's a 4K 60 camera. I'll put a link in the description to the actual specifications. There's just too much to mention for this video, but it does have a wealth of different frame rates and resolutions that you can choose from. You can actually, I think you can do 120 frames per second in 1080p, where that's considered as slow motion. So it does have a variety of different modes that you can film in, and it's up to you as to what film quality that you want. Alongside with the drone itself, you do get A and B rotor blades. Now, for the sake of convenience, I've just put one set in each box. I'll kind of swap them over. Now, when you this is a full set of A's and B's, because as I say, I've just swapped them over. And to attach them, you've got one set that has the red ring, and you notice on the motor it's got a red dash. The other one has grey. So obviously the red one goes to the red, and it's quick release propellers on this. So all you need to do is fit it in, push it down, and then spin the motor, and it locks into place. The same with the grey one, which will spin the opposite way. And then put this last one on. spin the motor, and it locks into place. And they're very well secure. They're not going to come off. They've got their spring. They've got a spring tension to them, so there's absolutely no way these are going to come off. So that's the setup of the drone. I'll put the gimbal cover back on, and there you have it. Now with this, you do get an extra hoodie to go over. Now I prefer the smoky black one. I'm not a big fan of this colour, to be honest, so I won't be putting it on, but it's there as a spare if I need it, in case I break this, I crack it or something. What I might do eventually is maybe I'll get this wrapped, I don't know. I like the look of it, to be honest. I think it looks cool. I might do some customization to it, just small bits. Unlike the other drones that I have, where I've wrapped them in white and orange for high visibility. I don't feel compelled to do that with this because I really do like the look of it. It's very sleek. It looks almost military. And to be honest, I like this design. I really do like it. It looks cool. So I won't be using this. Let me just disconnect that battery. Yeah, I won't be using this. I just don't like the colour, but it's a spare. So now, very quickly, you do get this hex key, an Allen key, which, as you can see on the sides, you've got the Allen screws here dotted all over the place on the underside, and this key fits that. So if you need to do any disassembly and stuff like that, or you need to change this cowl, should we call it, you can do that with this Allen key, which is very nice of DJI to send in case you need to do any repairs and stuff like that. So putting the drone aside, you also get the controller, which this is your antenna. You get a set of sticks. You've also got a spare set of sticks, which I've put into the slots there. It's the same typical movement when you're in normal mode and sport mode. So you've got the power on button, double press and hold. You've got a C1 button there, which is a function button, and you can customize that. You can customize it in the goggles. It gives you a menu option of different things that you can set that to. So that's quite convenient. The sticks, they're spring loaded. They always center back to the original position. Now, on the other side, you have a pause button and return to home. You've got, let me just turn this off, sorry. You've got normal, sport, and then manual mode. And these buttons, again, you can customize these. I've customized it to set the gimbal down into the middle or up. There's a list of options that you can do within the menu system on the goggles. So you'll see that when you open it, you've got your manual gimbal rotation, which it's analog. So depending on how much you move it, if you move it all the way, then it's just going to go up quickly. If you move it just a tiny bit, it just moves very slowly, depending on the input. You've got the start stop button. So if you double press on that, it starts the motors to the drone. I think if you double press again, it stops the motors, and it also switches it into manual mode as well. And to go into manual mode, which I've not done yet, I think on manual mode you need to pull down on the stick and then press on this. It might be one press or two presses, I'm not sure yet, but that's how you set it on to, that's how you set that onto manual mode. Pull down on the stick and then double press on that, and it switches it into manual settings. And I think you've got to go into some kind of permission or confirmation. You've got the start stop option for your video and photos. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. That's the drone and the remote covered. Also, before I forget, you do have underneath here, which I've not took off yet, but you've got two holes where you can actually undo the screws, and it loosens the spring tension on these. So when you do go into manual mode, you can, rather than the sticks centering back, you can pull it down and it just rests at the bottom. That's if you go into manual mode and you don't want it to center. I think when it centers, it still gives you some kind of thrust or acceleration, but when you start off down at the bottom, there's no acceleration. You have to manually push that stick up to get the right amount of throttle in manual mode. Now it's up to you to vary the amount of thrust, because when it's at the bottom, there's no acceleration. The more you put into it, the more rotation on the propellers and the more lift you're going to get. If you pull it down, it's going to slow the propellers and it's going to bring your drone down. Now, that's a great feature if you want to be doing FPV. It also works in normal and sport mode. Not sure how yet, because I've not done that. I've not got that far. But that's essentially what the remote does. Now, moving on to the goggles. Moving on to the goggles, you do get this head strap and it links in via Velcro. It's a Velcro strap that you have to feed through. And you can secure it depending on how big your head is. You know, if you've got a big head, you can adjust these straps. I put some Velcro on the side of mine, so for the moment, just ignore that, because I'll show you what I've done for that. And some people might disagree, some people might not. You've got 4 antennas that come with it. These simply unscrew, and then you attach these. Word of advice: don't operate this without all of your antennas, because apparently some kind of circuitry can overheat and it can blow it. So I'll post a link in the description as to why you shouldn't operate your V2 goggles without the antennas on. But you've got the head strap, which, you know, you can adjust and then cinch down. The great thing about this is you've got fans on the top of the goggles. So when you wear them, it just blows a little bit of cold air down onto your face, and it stops the goggles misting up, fogging up, and so on. The goggles themselves, on the eyes, that's what you're looking at here. On the underside, these move depending on the size of your head, how far apart your eyes are. At the moment, they're at the widest setting, but underneath here, you've got 2 little movable switches that what they do is they adjust, and you can adjust them accordingly depending on how far apart your eyes are. You've got a slot for micro SD, you've got a slot for a Type-C. I do recommend the micro SD card. You get the, let me have a look at which one it is that I've got in. It's a little tricky to get out, but it's a SanDisk Extreme. I've got a 64 gig, but make sure you get the V30 A2, SanDisk Extreme V30 A2. You want to get a powerful one because the read and write speed of the SD card will depend on the quality of the video. And as I say, the goggles can record, and it records sound and audio. The resolution on the goggles that you record isn't as great as what you would film on the drone. Yeah, so on the top you've got this 5-way navigational stick, so you can go left, right, up, down, and press depending on what you see in the goggles on the navigation menu. You can press it to select, and you can press this one to go back out of the menu to the last option. This is to record on the goggles. This doesn't record. If you press this, it doesn't record on the drone. You have to record on the drone via the joystick button. This only records from what the goggles are seeing, and you can take the card out. You can put the card into your laptop or your computer, and you can watch the file. It does record the sound of the rotor blades going when you're in flight. Some people might need that. I don't see the value of it. To me, it's more of an annoyance than anything, because I don't want to hear rotor blades going on a video. I make cinematic videos and I just want the visuals. I don't want the audio, and I definitely don't want the sound of the blades spinning during flight. But it's there if you need it. Those are the goggles. Very nice. I think this might be the volume button. I'm not entirely sure. As I say, I'm new to this. Yeah, one of the other things I like about these goggles is they're very reminiscent of night vision goggles. I mean, you can wear them and you kind of look like Ant-Man when you got them on, but then when you wear them up above on your head, they look like night vision goggles. And to me, it makes you look a bit like Sam Fisher from the game Splinter Cell. Now, alongside this, you get the charging brick for the battery. So if you want to release this, by the way, you can press this out. You squeeze them in and it just pulls out. But I'd rather, like I say, when I put it in, for the purpose of the video now, I'll show you, you can push it in, but I just think over time that's going to wear. So I'd rather squeeze it to pull it out and squeeze it to put it in, but then just give it a pull, quick tug to make sure it's in, and then you're good to go. But to release it, you squeeze it, pull it out. Now, this, you connect that to that, and that goes in your wall, obviously. This one is to connect to the battery. Now, it only goes in one way, and you've got a DJI logo. I don't know how well you can see that, but on top you've got a DJI logo, and that needs to stay on top. It only goes in a set way, like so. If you try putting it in the other way, it just won't go in. So with the DJI logo on the top of your charging brick, that's how you plug it in to your battery. You do have 2 USB slots for the extra cable that you get. You can actually charge other things like your remote. I'll show you. So you've got your charging cable, and it's quite convenient, this, because there's no need for carrying extra things. So you can plug that in, put your Type-C into there, and whilst you're charging the battery, you can charge this, and at the same time, if you've got another USB to Type-C cable, you can plug the USB in and then start charging your battery for the goggles. Now, the battery for the goggles, let me just show you. You've got a little, this is the charging cable for the goggles. Now, to get these goggles to work, you're going to need the battery that's provided. You have this cable, which is a Type-C to power outlet, which is essentially what you'd find on laptops and things. So you plug that in, and then you plug this into there, and then double press and hold, and then your goggles will come on. I don't know how well, I don't know if you can see inside there. You can't really see, and it'll just go out of focus if I do put it in, but yeah. That's how you plug your power battery in and to operate, and then double tap and hold on the second one to turn it on, and the same again, double tap and hold, and it turns it on. When you do turn it on, you'll hear the fans kick in, which, as I say, is just drawing air in to cool down, and it's actually quite nice. Stops your face from getting a bit sweaty. The only thing I don't like about these goggles, and I think that they do an extra piece, is this rubber. It sits on your face and it can get a bit tight. Now I have to, when I do put it on, I have to put it on tight on the upper side, because it kind of sits in, but I need to cinch it up on the top, and when it does that, it just feels a bit too tight, and then when I do take it off, I'm left with a big red ring around my eyes. Doesn't look pretty, but it is what it is. Make sure you get a microfiber cloth as well, because I've just noticed that the lenses on these are a bit smudged, probably from the kids playing the simulator and touching the lens, but I'll clean that. Yeah, that's how you turn that off and turn it on, as you can see. Now what I've done, and some people from the FPV world might be in complete disagreement with me, I don't like cables dangling down. I hate it. So what I've done is, on the side of the goggles with mine, I've put a little strip of Velcro, and it's quite strong, sticky Velcro there. The same with this. I've put the hook and loop system. You know, there's the hook and loop. And then I simply attach that to the goggles, and I'll wear it like this. It adds a little bit of extra weight, but it doesn't add too much weight. It's not uncomfortable. What I do find uncomfortable is this rubberized seal, should we call it. I think DJI do a different one. I'm yet to see that and do some research on it, but I'm not a big fan of this, to be honest. It's just a bit too tight. It leaves your brow a bit sweaty and a bit sore after a while. So that's my only gripe with that. And then this cable I'll tie all this up in a way where it's not dangling down, so it's all nice and snug and compact. But at the same time, you can plug this cable in, and then when you wear your goggles, you've got access to that. I just think it's a more convenient way. I'm not into getting another headset. I'm trying to keep costs down and stuff. I believe Fat Shark do headbands and things like that. It might be something to look into, but for now, I've gone the cheap option and just Velcroed it to the side, and it's not moving. You know, it's stuck there really well. That's not going anywhere. So that's the goggles explained. I shall take this out. There's not really much more I can say about the goggles, but so you've got the goggles, the drone, and the remote. You also get this OTG cable, which when you come to set up this drone, it was a pain in the backside to set it up. I got the drone at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and when I set the drone up, the Fly app wasn't updated to the correct version to operate this drone. It took me from, what, 10:30 in the morning till 2:30 early morning, in the early hours of the morning, to finally get this to bind. I got everything to bind, but I couldn't activate it, and I couldn't get onto the DJI Fly app. Now, if you're having trouble setting this thing up, I'm going to post a link in the description to the latest version of the DJI Fly app, which I got an email because I bought this from Argos, and they sent me an email with a link to the latest version of the DJI Fly app that can operate this drone. Like I say, it was such a pain in the backside to get this thing activated. I could get them all bound and paired up to each other. So the goggles were paired to this was paired to the goggles. I could see everything, I could operate everything, but I just couldn't activate it. And to activate it, I had to go into DJI's website, and I think I will post a link, trust me on that. I'll post a link to the relevant things that you need to set it up. But don't fear the fact that you can't set it up as quickly as you might think. I'll post a link and a description to everything that you need to get it all going and operational. But if you don't have the latest version of the Fly app, then you're going to be a bit buggered, to be honest. So I'll post a link to that. I'll post a link to get the goggles up and running, get it all bound, get it all paired up, and then you've got to plug in. Let me just get my phone. Now, when it comes time, let me just get these out of the way and show you. When it comes time to setting this up through the goggles, you've got to set it up through the menu system on the goggles. You can't do it any other way. And this OTG cable is very important. It's important that you put this in to, I'll show you. You have to, you can't do it any other way. This must go into the goggles. So you've got a USB-C slot there. You plug that in. You then, the cable that you use for charging is also like data transfer cable. So this, the USB side of it, will then go into your OTG cable, and then you plug this into your phone. I'm not going to plug it in because it's going to launch the app and I don't want it to do that. But you plug that into the phone, it automatically should open the app up for you. And then it'll ask you to activate the thing through the DJI Fly app. So it's imperative that you use the OTG cable and put that into your goggles. Don't put this in to there and then think you can do it that way, because it just won't work. Something about it, it's just, I don't know whether it's the way they do data transfer and stuff like that, but it won't work if you use any other cable into there. You have to use this. It's important that you do. So put it in, put your USB thing in, put your Type-C into your phone, and then launch it all up. And then it'll ask you to activate and all that stuff, and then you're up and running. That's as much as I can say about this. I've got 2 more batteries coming for the drone because it's a bit disheartening only getting 1 battery. Yeah, as we all know, the flight time on these batteries, you get a maximum of 20 minutes in an ideal situation. But it's not always going to be an ideal situation. You're going to get about 15 minutes, maybe 6 to 7 minutes in manual mode, and maybe 15, 16 minutes in normal and sport mode, depending on how you fly. So I've ordered 2 extra batteries and the charging hub, which, yes, it's quite costly, but I think it's worth it. So that's been my unboxing today. Take note of the setup. It will take you a while to do if you've not got the right app version. I will post a link in the description for that. It's a legitimate link, so don't be worried that it might be a third-party bit of software that you think has got some malicious bugs to it. It is legitimate. It was sent to me via Argos, and it's a direct link to the DJI Fly app 1.3.0, I think. So that's everything that you get. As you can see, this is the entire kit. That's the box it comes in. Let me just... There's the box it comes in. There's your entire kit. Good luck. Get it all set up. Get yourself up and running. Like I said in my last video, don't go into flying this drone in manual mode until you've used the simulator. You need to get very, very conversant with that simulator and manual mode, because when you put it into normal and sport mode, it operates just like any other Mavic drone. As soon as you put it into manual mode, it operates completely different, and you're going to end up having a crash if you're not conversant with flying an FPV drone in manual mode like you would approach flying a helicopter. That's how it works. So have a look at my last video. I go in to describe that and how it works. I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this content, if you want to see anything more, you know, leave a comment, give me a request. I don't mind doing these things. I like doing tutorials. I like passing on information that I learn, so it helps you guys out. But in order for you guys to get this information, you have to subscribe. That's the balance of things, really. So check out my other videos. Have a look through all my other videos on my channel, and if you like what you see, give me a like, give me a share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.